Hello and welcome everyone. So I'll be dealing with two problems. Now the first one is recent Codeforces 700 round 2, problem A, named yet another string game. This was a pretty easy one. Actually, it's you will be given a string S, and there will be two players. It's kind of a game theory type of, and the two players are Alice and Bob. Now Alice makes the first move. What Alice have to do is he the first, let's tell you the operation here. The operation is you can change it's any selected position's character, but after it's selected you cannot make another choice here. Now what you can do in that selected position is you can change that character to any other lowercase English letter, but you cannot make it uh, the way it was actually. So what you have to do is you have to change that character. You can change in that position's character, but not the character that it actually is. It actually was previously. So that's what you have to do in that operation. Now Alice makes the first move, and uh, now after when all the indices have been chosen, the game ends. Now what Alice have to make? Alice has to make the final string as much lexicographically small as possible. On the other hand, Bob needs to make the final string lexicographically as large as possible. So it's obvious that if the string's characters are all lowercase letters, then Alice will definitely try to make each and every character from the beginning uh, uh, equal to the smallest character possible, which is A. If not A, then but if A is already there, then he cannot. Then he have to change it anyhow. So you will turn out to B. So Alice has the option of either drawing A or B. On the other hand, Bob will try to make the character either Z or Y, right? Because if Z is already there in that position where he will make his way, then he cannot do that. Then he will try to make that Z as Y. So on the other hand, if any other character appears on that position, then he will try to make that character Z, as Bob will try to do that, and they will always try to do from the beginning, because from the beginning it actually makes that character as lexicographically, respectively, lexicographically smaller or greater. And now, no, so that's it. So we actually have to print the final string here. Let me take you one example here. You will understand that. Now look, here what we've got is B. Let's say, let's take one example here. Let's say we have a string is A, okay, and then L, and then maybe B and Z. Okay. Now, as I told you, that Alice will always make the first move. Now, Alice, what was Alice's goal? Alice's goal was to make the string lexicographically smaller as possible. And here, the first character, he will both of them will go from the beginning. Try to go from the beginning. Now it's turn for Alice. Now Alice will, I told you that Alice will make the string lexicographically smaller, right? So Alice has to make A. Now A is already here in this position, so what could be the smallest after A? It will definitely be B. So he will have to, if he does this operation, he will have to put B here, which will be the smallest for him, because A is already there. You cannot put A here after doing one operation. Now so he has either option. I told you that A or B. Alice has A or B option, and Bob has Z or Y. Okay, and so Alice will put here B, and then comes Bob's position. Now here there is no Z, right? So he can make it Z. Obviously you have to make it lexicographically or larger, and Alice will make this A. And similarly here Z is already presented. Now Bob will try to make it y, of course, because z is not the largest. Okay, the largest possible. Z is already the largest possible lexicographically largest possible character, and it is already presented there. So he cannot make that operation again. So he has to make what is the second most highest lexicographically larger character, which is y. And that's how you're going to be doing it. Let's take you to the code section, and here it is. So we took t and string. I'm just checking out each and every terms of operations as the first one. If I is even, then it's Alice's turn, and if I is odd, then it's Bob's turn, and I will just do the simple logical operation here. You will understand that. So now let's move to the problem B, which is the great hero. Now this was an interesting one because it had a slight, I did a slight mistake here. I'll tell you. Okay, so first let's just discuss it. So now in this problem, actually, there's a hero guard, and there are n monsters, and the hero needs to beat all the monsters. Uh, what I actually have to output is whether the hero can kill all the monsters. It doesn't matter if the hero kills himself or not, but if he kills anyhow all the monsters, okay, even after he kills himself, even after he is dead, killing the last monster, it will be regarded as he won the battle against all the monsters. Now, each and every monsters will have its health and attack power. Similarly, for the hero will also have an attack power and its own health value, attack power and health value. So hero will have attack power and health value, and also the monsters will have attack power and health value each and every time. If uh, uh, each time the hero will choose which of the monsters to fight for. He can fight the same monster more than once too. Now, for the safety of the people, we have to just output whether he can beat all the monster or kill all the monsters or not. So it's obvious. It seems like a pretty straightforward problem. But there's a slight tricky part. Now, generally, the thought might be, yes, okay, so the hero will try to level down and kill with its attack. Now, okay, so one thing to discuss here, that after each battle, the resulting health of both heroes and that position's monster would be, what happens is that a hero's health decreases by the monster's attack, and also the monster's health decreases by hero's attack. That's exactly how it happens each and every time, and we have to just output it. Now, it might seem that, okay, I will just choose any of those monsters and kill them, and try to loop out each and every monster. But here we have to think about. Let's take an example to show that it's not always going to work. Uh, we have to like somehow sort the resulting one, sort the monsters array based on the attack. Why it's important is that let's take one example. Let's take one example here. Then we will understand what is the consequences here. So let's say that the hero has health of like 15, and he has attack of like, let's say, 100, and let's say that the monster has health of 10 and attack of 9, and then 1, and then 9, 9, 9. Okay, So in this section, okay, if I let's say this is for hero, right? Hero, and these two are for the monsters. Now, what will happen in the first fight if he chooses to, if the player chooses to fight with this monster? We know that, okay, this will be hero's health will be decreased to 6, and hero will win the first fight because it's 100, so it will be 10 minus 100 in the first fight, so this monster will be beaten, and he will also win this fight, right? Because he has attack power of 100, so 1 minus 100 will be some minus, even though the hero will die himself too, but he will also kill the monsters. He will die by this 15 minus 999 attacking power. But what if this operation was reversed? What I mean by is, what if this happened? Uh, let's say 1500. Now, the monster with the maximum attacking power comes first. And if he chooses serial by each and every monster, what would happen? Then, let's say, in the first battle, the hero will die in the first battle, even though the monster will also be killed, but hero will also die. Look, the same array, but hero at one circumstances the hero dies, and the answer is no, and the other way is yes. Now I have to try to make it efficiently, whether he can kill all the monsters here. So I hope you got the intuition. We actually have to sort the monsters array by its attacking power. If I do that, then I'm making sure that I will deal the monster which has the greater power, I will deal with it later. Uh, because if it happens to be, uh, the main tricky part is that we have to sort the monsters array based on the attacking power of each monsters. Okay, uh, and then we will try to do the same operations. You can also not sort the array, but you can also take something like, I will try to find out the maximum attacking power of which uh, of the monster's ID, which has the maximum power of attacking power. I will try to find out the monster's ID, which has the maximum of attacking power, and then I will put it aside. And for the rest of the monsters, I will do the same operation without sorting. I could also do that. Why it is also possible with that? Because what only matters, the main part is that they've told us that yes, in the last battle, if the hero dies but also kills the monster, then he also wins. So you can do it both ways. You can either sort the array according to the attacking power. I actually just did that. But you can also try to find the ID of the monster which has the maximum attacking power. And you can do for that monster. You can deal with that monster later. But before that, you could fight with the rest of the monster. It might work. It will work. Because we have got a key point here, which is the last index. If even the hero dies, but if he kills the monster, he wins. So that's why we are trying to make sure that the maximum attacking power, and the purpose of the sorting is also this, that the maximum attacking power of the monster remains at the last position. So that's how we deal with this problem. Let's take you to the code section here. So this is the code section, and look what we did here. We are taking the input as the pair vector, and when we were running out the loop, we were checking Okay, how did we actually yes, here we just sorted the array, okay, based on what? The attacking power. And this is the general operation. Now how did we did the general operation? How I actually did was I actually tried to find out how many times I have to attack monster, how many times a hero has to attack a monster to kill himself completely. And I also tried to find out how many times I have to kill the hero, the how many times the monster uh, need to attack the hero to kill himself properly, and try to find out what is the minimum times. Okay, with this way you can find out whichever is killed at the first position, at the first person position. So that's how we actually did here. The minimum is what is the minimum number of times one beats the others, and with that I'm trying to find out what is the final health after okay, this minimum times, which is the minimum times, which means this minimum times and attacking, uh, and trying to find out the health of each and every for monsters and for the hero. And finally, this is for the last index thing, where what I actually told you is that even if the monster, even if in the last index the monster's health is only matters, it doesn't matter what the hero's health is. But that's how we actually did here. And finally, we're actually initializing FL equal to 1 because and just tracking out the condition for where FL could be 0, which means null, and then finally checking out the answer. And that's how we actually did that. So again, I'm telling you that what actually happens in what actually is happening inside this loop is we are actually find out how many times I need to attack a monster to beat him completely, which is referring to X, and how many times I have to kill the hero, how many times a single monster needs to attack the hero to kill himself completely. And with that, I'm just finding out the minimum count, and then just trying to find out what will be the after fight health um, of the monsters and the monster and the hero himself. So that's how we're actually doing this. And so till next time, goodbye.